Today's makeup tutorial is inspired by summer and holidays. This is something I would wear on a summer evening when I've got a nice tan. I'm going to start by adding some colour to my skin, and for this I'm using Bourjois bronzing primer. This is like a hybrid of jelly and mousse. It's really nice and it goes onto the skin lovely. This product's really nice and cheap, and it's great. You can wear it alone if you just want to add a hint of colour to your skin, or as I say, it's a primer so you can use it underneath makeup if you want to give that sun-kissed effect to your skin. So I'm just working that around in circular motions, blending it in. Remember, when you're using something like this, you need to take it over the ears and make sure you take it down the neck. Now, if I already had a tan on my skin and I was on holiday, I wouldn't be using all this foundation. I'd probably just either use a BB cream or Bare Minerals. But as we are still in spring, I'm yet to get any colour, so this is going to give me that colour to my skin, and it's also going to make my complexion a little bit more flawless. So I'm working in Bobbi Brown Long Wear Foundation, and I'm using that on my MAC Duo Fibre brush. Again, I'm using a colour that's slightly darker than my natural skin tone, so I'm just going to take that down the neck and across the ears. To add a little dimension to the face, I'm going to put on some Avon Ideal Flawless Foundation that's a little bit lighter than my skin tone, and I'm just taking that underneath the eyes, on the chin, down the centre of the nose and on the centre of the forehead, and this is just going to create a little bit of highlight in those areas. If you're already tanned, then all of this is a little unnecessary as you don't need to darken your skin. But you can add highlight and you can add a little bit of contour, and you can do all this with just BB creams. And talking of BB creams, that's what I'm going to use to contour. I'm using the Bourjois BB Bronzing Cream. Again, this is another cheap product. I got it when I got the bronzing primer. And I'm just placing that on the hollows of the cheeks, around the hairline and a little bit down the bridge of the nose. Use a light hand when applying this. I find if the product's a little bit more liquidy than the one you've already put on your skin, it tends to move it underneath. So just sweep it on lightly when using this in circular motions and you'll find it goes on nicely. If you're quite heavy-handed with it, you'll find it will move the product underneath. Now I'm all bronzed and sun-kissed, I'm going to do eyebrows, and I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow palette in medium ash. I'm using an angle brush by Crown, and Anastasia Beverly Hills actually sell a perfect eyebrow brush for this, and it's angled like this as well, but it's super thin. So I'm not doing anything particular with my brows, I'm literally just filling them in how I usually would, and I'm just making them slightly lighter at the front as I always do, because I think this is more natural. So for the eyeshadow base, I'm applying NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, and the reason for this is, one, it's going to be a good eyeshadow base, the shadow is literally going to stick to it and it will stay in place. 2, it highlights the corners of your eyes, and 3, the colour's going to pop more. It's going to be more true to the colour it is in the palette than what it will be just on top of skin. All the colours we're going to use today are from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Catwalk palette. The first eyeshadow colour we're going to use is called Callback. So we're going to pat that on everywhere we've placed the Milk pencil, so this is up to the socket line, and we're going to layer this a couple of times so it stays in place and it's nice and opaque. You can just see on the inner corner of the eyes that nice highlight that's been created by that pencil. The next eyeshadow colour we are using is called Scout, and we're using that on a pencil brush and we're taking that into the socket line. So from the outer edge we're going to pull that halfway through the socket line and then blend that out with a clean blending brush. To do this, it's best to work in small circular motions. Now, as I say in all my tutorials, blend that out, reapply and then blend it out again. We're going to be putting a darker eyeshadow over this, so we want that warmth to come through. It's all about sandwiching the colours. The more layers you apply, the longer it's going to last. So to create a bit more depth, we're going to use Couture eyeshadow, and this is more of a brown shade, and we're going to apply that into the socket and create a V shape. And then using another clean blending brush, we're just going to soften those lines. You don't have to do it on an angle brush like I do. I like to create a more defined shape. You can just apply it with a pencil brush so it's not so defined, as I know a lot of people struggle to blend these lines out. It can take practice. Blending can take patience and time, so you just need to practice doing circular motions and keep going over it until it's nice and soft, and you'll get the knack for it. Like we did with the first eyeshadow in the socket, we're going to reapply it and then we're going to blend it out again. Now on a large blending brush, we're going to apply RTW, which is this shade, and we're going to go over the eyeshadows that are in the socket. This won't diminish the colours that we've already put in place. All it's going to do is warm up that whole entire socket area up to that inner brow. This is all going to complement that nice sun-kissed bronze appearance. And again, be light-handed with it, tap off all the excess and just apply the little bit that's on the brush. Next we want to create a nice soft wing, so we're going to use LBD eyeshadow, which is a matte black, and on an angle brush we're going to create that little wing shape at the corner, and then we're going to pull that colour in very close to the lash line. And then using our pencil brush we're just going to soften that and just blend the edges. And then we're going to run whatever's left on that brush just underneath the lower lashes. We're going to do the same thing with our angle brush. We're going to take whatever's left on them bristles underneath the lower lashes, but at the outer corners we're going to meet up with that line that we've placed on the top lid. Next I'm taking the smallest amount of a brown gel liner, and this one's by Bobbi Brown. I've wiped the excess product off of the brush, and I'm taking that from the inner corner of the top lid along the lash line to meet the liner on the outer edge, and then I'm also taking that across the waterline. Now it's time for mascara. I am using Black Magic by Ico. I love this mascara, it really lengthens and curls your lashes. I find a lot of new mascaras are too wishy-washy when they go on your eyes when you first get them and take a few weeks to thicken up. This is great from the off and it lasts ages. So as you can see, I've applied that to my top lashes and I'm also applying that to my bottom lashes. For me, holiday is all about bronze skin and luscious lashes, and these ones are iconic and they are by House of Lashes. I'm also applying a bottom set and they are called Precious, also by House of Lashes, which I'm applying off camera because I need to be close to the mirror in order to see what I'm doing. So just to diminish the colour of the band of the lashes, I'm just going in with a little bit more of that Bobbi Brown gel liner and just colouring it in. Now over your BB cream or whatever you've got on your face, you may want to apply some bronzer. I'm just applying mine from the Glamour Glow palette by Kryolan. I do love this one, it gives off a nice shimmer to your skin and it's quite subtle. I believe this Glamour palette is called Elegance and I'm using the peachy shade for my blush. Now these can go on quite strong, but you can just use your foundation brush if you use one, or a flat top kabuki just to buff all that in together and it will sheer it down and look a little bit more subtle. On holiday we can all look a little bit shiny from the sun, so I like to powder my skin down ever so slightly just for an evening, and I use M&S translucent powder. In keeping with that bronzy look with the lips, I am using MAC's Plush Lip Glass in Pink Clash. And that's my bronzy holiday summer look. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up if you have, and thanks for subscribing.